What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for another match reaction. Another 0-0 in the league, Roma 0-0, Empoli 0-0, and now a Napoli 0-0. It's absolutely not panic mode for me. However, we must say that we have a problem in these type of games, because teams are very okay with sitting back and just leaving or playing at home, pick up the point and call it a day, and we don't have any real solutions to break those teams down. That's it. Roma came for a point, they got a point. Empoli came for a point, they got a point. Napoli came for a point and they got a point. And to be honest, I don't think any of those teams really needed to do a lot to get that point, But before we get into it, as always, at least smash the like button on this video. That will help. That will smoothen the painful watch again, So hit the like button. But yeah, 0-0. It's the same issue. Like if somebody's watching and he missed the Empoli or the Roma game, I would say do not rewatch it, obviously, because you saw it today. It's the same thing. I didn't expect Conte to play wide open. I also did not expect him to sit back this deep, and I've said it on my preview. If they're gonna sit back, they're not gonna score. Because Lukaku is not that guy. And even for Vlahovic, ridiculous type of game to play because there is nothing. Like there's absolutely nothing for Vlahovic or Lukaku. It's just a pointless game to play. It's completely pointless, and that was the case. I don't think any team wanted to take a risk, but you play at home, and at one point, people are respecting you in terms of they don't want to come play us wide open because we can do damage if teams do that. You need to take some risks. And I know that was kind of the big scare, I think, for Thiago Motta. He was not willing to take any risks because if you take a risk, it can go quickly with Kvara and so on, so on. However, if it's the 17th minute and you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and you can see you're asking so much from Yildiz to beat 2-3 players, or Cambiaso to actually beat 3 players through the middle and make something happen, you need to take some more risks. You absolutely need to do that, and we didn't do that. We didn't do that at all, and I'm not even sure why. Like, you know what it is? It's early on into the season, and maybe like we didn't concede a goal. We look solid, and I get it. Kalulu, he might even look better than Gatti as a center back, if I'm being completely honest. But that's not really the point, I guess. We look solid. That's not the case. Right? We conceded one goal at the end against PSV when the game was over, and we just switched off for a second. Because I think everybody felt the game was over. However, and that's cool. Like, you look solid. That's fine. I think Motta's looking at it and it's like, okay, we need to start somewhere. Like, there needs to be some sort of base to actually build on this before we can actually take some more risks. Because that midfield, like, we did very control, simple things. Like, there's no sense of urgency. It was just, we do the same thing and we're gonna need to make this work. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. That's how it is. Like, I was looking at that game and I said in my preview, I said McKennie should be starting. However, if it turns out to be a different type of game, which it turned out to be, not against PSV, you don't need a McKennie in that team. Like, he's not going to help him build up, and that's not a knock on him. That's just who he is, And I was actually extremely surprised that he brought in Thuram rather than a Fagioli or a Douglas Luiz. I really was. Because if I'm being completely honest, the way the game was going, and I know they brought in Neres, and I was like, they're going to play more football now Lukaku's off. However, I never had a feeling that Napoli were going to score. Not once. So I was like, okay, take that risk right now. At least try it, try to do something different, because right now, 3 games in, 3 0-0s in a row, we didn't really do something different. We didn't give it a spin. We didn't. And that for me is frustrating rather than a concern, because at one point you're gonna need to take some risk. You absolutely need to do that, because teams are watching this and they're just gonna sit back. They're gonna sit back. If you're playing a team who's okay with a point, they're just gonna sit back. If you play a team who wanna win, probably like in Aston Villa and in Man City, those type of teams, Inter, you're gonna have a different type of game. But teams who just are okay with sitting back and are okay with 1 point, we will struggle against if we play like this. It is what it is, and it's frustrating. 100% it's frustrating because I want to win. It 3 0-0s in a row, it's not good enough. Like, we just need to be honest. The start, learning, I get all that, and I'm not panicking. However, you're playing Roma and Napoli away from home. These are your home games right now, and I thought you needed to win these, and we didn't do that. Actually, we didn't even get close to winning these games. Like, it's not that you come out of that game and you're like, oh, we deserve to win that. We didn't deserve to win the Roma game, nor the Napoli game, nor that Empoli game. It's as simple as that, you know, and that is a problem right now. We need to address it. We need to talk about it. You know, I'm not in a panic mode. It's way too soon for me to panic, but it is an issue. It really is an issue. You know, you have people talking about quote miners. Why is he on the left? Why? Like, there's a lot of interchanging, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, that's cool. I get it. That's fine. But at one point, I was like, okay, just stick quote miners. Just stick him in the middle, down the middle. That's it. You know, because we need some sort of spark, and that spark wasn't there. Like, I can look at the players and I'm like, man, I thought Savona defensively, I know he doesn't do overlaps. Actually, the last 20 minutes, it was with a bit more a risk from Savona, with some overlaps here and there, with some crosses here and there. However, he's a defensive fullback. That's what it is. Like, individually, I cannot fault players because that's how we play. That's our approach. So I cannot really fault players. However, I was still looking at one player to step up. You know, Cambiaso was ridiculously good. I thought Bremer, like I predicted, if he needs to play like Lukaku against Lukaku in this setup, yeah, he's gonna feast. Like, it's gonna be so easy for him. And actually, a lot of defenders will have an easy day, to be honest. But he was brilliant. And other than that, like, we are 5 games into the season, one in the Champions League, play one, so 5 games, and I'm still not sure how good Di Gregorio is. Not saying it's a knock, however, we don't give away chances. It's not that we need Di Gregorio. However, the flip side is we do not create chances, and I called out Allegri for that last season, so I need to address that. I'm not going to say I'm calling you out for this because there's a lot of time to improve and to change that, because I was calling out Allegri for it because it was 3 years in a job and we still looked clueless up top. However, it needs to be talked about. You know, I'm not panicking. It needs to be talked about. You know, if you want to talk about Vlahovic, like I said in early on, that one ball he passes back was, I'm not even sure what he saw there. I'm not gonna lie. Other than that, he had other 3 touches or 4 touches. That was a pointless game for the number 9. Same for Lukaku, just pointless. He brought on Weah, but we didn't really change the way we play. So I thought that was kind of pointless as well. It's not that we got Weah in behind. It was just him dropping in deep, kind of the same what you expect from Vlahovic. But I was like, okay, you're not really changing much, are you? So a lot of things to think about heading into next week. I'm not panicking. However, it's something we need to address as soon as possible, because right now I can see why people are frustrated. But I'm not okay, but the base is good, I guess. It's just now the final third needs to improve, because we get through that midfield with great ease, in my opinion. It's just that final decision making, that overlap, that 1-2, whatever, like those things are just missing, you know, and that right now is an issue and it needs to be addressed as soon as possible. But let me know in the comments what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will be back in normal settings tomorrow, especially for that live show. So stay tuned, and yeah, that's it for me today. Ciao.